Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advance. This is round 5 of the series that I'm covering of FIDE Chess Olympiad 2024 and games of Gukesh. I've already covered games of another gold medalist, Divya Deshmukh, the magician. All of the games has been covered. If you want to check it out, you can do that in the playlist that I've curated. But this is Gukesh's game and this is round 5 and this is going to be absolutely amazing. We are playing with Azerbaijan and we beat them to a spectacular score, but I'll show you that later. But now with the game, without further ado, let's start with this game. Gukes starts with e4. We have e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4 going for the Italian game. Knight to f6, d3, but just bishop to c5 going for the Gioco piano. Now bishop to g5, but just h6. It is pianissimo variation, but names other than the Gioco piano are unnecessary because every move you're going to get a new variation, so there's no point. Bishop to h4, g5, and has just bishop to g3, d6, c3, and now just going for this knight to a5. You're going to get knight bd2, just castle, and then knight is just going to jump to not here obviously because the bishop is occupying, but most likely e3. But here just we have knight b2 as planned, bishop to a7, a3, and now just going for this knight to h5. This knight to h5 is not a good move by black, and just going by the 10 move variation with the black pieces, it's Aydin Suleymanli from Azerbaijan, as you can see from the interface. But you have to understand that he's not that low rated than Gukesh. He's I think some 2637 while Gukesh is some 2780, so you have a roughly 110 rating points difference. But then you have to understand that when you're playing with such a high rated opponent, just 100 points rated is not that high. But when you're playing with such a low or decently high rated opponent than you, then you have to understand that you have to come prepared. And this is I mean the opposite of coming prepared, because in this position, if you play a move like queen to e7, it's absolutely fine. Castles, bishop to d7, b4, and just castling queenside, b5 will come. Yes, it looks scary because you've already advanced so much, but then you have some counterplay with after white goes for d4, because you have to open up the center, just try and get this bishop alive somehow. This bishop is already doing very good. Get the rook here on the b file, attack the black king. But it's not that simple, because bishop to g4, you play d captures, and after bishop captures, trying to grab that central pawn. But now just comes knight caps on e4, and now can you grab this? Well, no. The answer is simply no. Bishop to d4 is the move that you have to find here. Knight bd2, and now after captures, now you play bishop captures, g captures, and here after this, you have to understand there's a lot of pressure. You cannot go here because en passant. So here, what you have to do is rook f to d1, and here after bishop captures, you just play this, and once the queen moves, now you just give up the pawn, because that's what you would have to do. But now you have some counterplay, because now you don't want to allow any of that, and there is too much pressure. So because if you give that check, then the king would have to come here towards the center, and that's what you don't want. So knight to d7, but the bishop is definitely going there, and once the king moves, now you capture this. You play a move like that, and your position would be very, very nice. Aside from the not this directly, because because of the fact that you're just going to lose the queen, but in the future. So you'd have fine game, no issues. But this knight to h5 is a bad move, and if you can understand why this knight to h5 is a bad move, well, go ahead and just practice your tactical skills in this position, and have at it. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is this knight caps on e5, and now you understand the problem, because you cannot capture, just queen captures. And if you try to go the other way around, if you capture here, then just bishop captures, which exactly happened in the game. Knight caps on g3, bishop captures with a check. Now king needs to move. You've lost your castling privileges. You're not castling anytime queenside. You're there in the open file. I can just capture this castle, get my rooks into the game, break up the position after I play a prophylactic move with h4, and I'm just very, very happy person. Knight to g6 with a check, but now just king to g7, but just f captures, just grabbing that, also opening this up. You don't even need to castle. You can just get the rook into the game, and the position is absolutely lost. King captures on f7, but now just knight caps on h8. Queen captures, but just d4, just shutting this off, so you can maybe castle, but king to g7, but now just castles. Bishop to d7, now trying to go for this king to h1, rook to f8, and now just queen to e2. Yes, black has two pieces for the rook, but you have to understand the king is so much vulnerable that there is no point of even continuing this game. You're just going to be lost in a few more moves. Rook caps on f1, rook captures, queen to e8, but just queen to f3. And now there is, I mean, on the every step of the way, there is danger for black king, and what can you do to defend it? There is absolutely nothing. There is no counterplay here. Queen to e7, but now just comes knight to c4, and now we have bishop to e6, knight to e3, knight to d8, knight to f5 with a check. Obviously that comes with a very nice fork, so you have to eliminate it as seen here. But now not going for but going for e captures, threatening this. So you have to move queen to f6, but just the rook comes into the game. Now the rook is controlling the entire file. It's just a very passive that you have to play. And bishop to b6, but just g4. Now comes c5, d5, c4, but trying to open up the lines, but it's just not good. Rook to e4. Now just waiting move. Also, you can just get here and just push for that victory. Bishop to c5, but just a4. bishop to a7 and queen to e2 as planned, h5, and now just comes this rook to e7 check, king moves, rook to e8 check, king moves, and now just going for this g captures, and now there is just a bit too much. I mean, this pawn is pushing and there is nothing you could do to stop it. g4 was tried, but just h6, but queen caps on f5, h7, queen to b1 check, king block, and just queen blocks, rook captures, and now it was also on this move Aydin Suleymanli resigned the game, and Gukesh got the spectacular victory. Why he resigned? Because simply because of the fact that if you go here, then the rook checks, and whatever you do, I just queen, and if you decide to I mean, I can just show you, but that's besides the point, because if if you go here, this just brings the queen, this just this, and this, after this you just get a queen into the game. The game is absolutely over. There is nothing you can do, and you can just basically resign in this position. That's exactly what he did after rook captures, and Gukesh got this spectacular victory for India. And the score was, I think, Gukesh won against Aydin Suleymanli, Arjun defeated Mamedov, and I think we had 1-3 against 1-3 in India's favor against Azerbaijan. So definitely absolutely amazing. I mean, Arjun won, Gukesh won, and Vidit and Prague, I think, drew their games, and India was able to win the game against Azerbaijan. So spectacular performance by India, and I'll be coming back with round 6. So till then, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you, everyone.